If I had to do it all over again and I was single and dating in the single world, we know exactly what we would do. And we're going to share that with you today.
So if you're a Christian and you are single and you are trying to navigate purity in this culture that we're in, with the twisted expectations, that are in our culture, in the dating world, it can be so challenging. And so if you can relate, drop purity in the comments below, and we're going to dive into this.
I love it.
Okay. So Scotty, typically what does a date look like?
So modern cultural norms on dates from just from the coaching that we do and meeting with our private clients, there's a lot of expectations. People are going out on dates, they're meeting somebody on a dating app, and they go out on a first date or a second date. A lot of times it's just the first date and they're buying you dinner. And now they have an expectation that you're going to go out and have drinks afterwards and then maybe come back to their place. Maybe you come back to their,
That is something. So I saw on, I was watching on TikTok. Oh, dog just fell. Yeah, I was watching on TikTok. And this guy, they were on their first date and the dinner is over and the bill comes and he starts to go to pay the bill. And so she goes to grab her phone and she's on her phone and she starts videotaping because his energy just kind of shifted.
Yeah.
And he says to her, so what are you doing, later tonight?
Okay.
And she goes, I'm going to bed. And I have to work tomorrow. I'm going to bed. And his energy shifted again. And he kind of got quiet. And then he said, so you don't want to go to a bar or go out, afterwards? I don't understand. And he just kind of kept getting quiet and it was so awkward. And she's videotaping this whole thing. And he said, oh, okay. So what you're telling me is you just wanted to have a free dinner, a free meal.
Wow.
You're just like all the other girls. You just wanted a free meal.
Yeah.
And this isn't going any farther.
So
right?
His expectation was what?
His expectation is I'm taking you out on a date.
I'm buying you dinner. So there's a transaction?
There's an exchange that's going to happen. And that was his expectation. And her expectation, she was like, look, I can just pay for my own meal. You don't have to pay for my meal. I'm fine. I'll pay for my own meal, which a lot of women, I'm sure you're like, no, he's paying for the meal.
Yeah.
I'm out. That's what I would have done.
She should have just got up and
I would have just
out.
got up and left and said, you can deal with this. Bye. But that's an expectation that people... that I think men have, is that they're going to get something in exchange for taking a girl to dinner.
They're playing the numbers, and the cultural norm says it's okay, and it's what they know and it's what they're doing, and the expectation that they have is they're trying to have a fling, and maybe they like you, maybe they don't. I don't know. I think a lot of times if a guy has that kind of an expectation on the first date, you need to leave that guy alone and get out of there. And I think that comes to our next point.
And that's but that's the twisted, expectations. It's like our cultural norms. It's a hookup. It's a hookup society.
Yeah.
People are not, yes, they want to meet people. Yes, they want someone to do things with. Most young people are not wanting to be married, right? And they're not wanting a relationship. They're just wanting to hook up and they're wanting to, they want the guy to take them to dinner and pay for everything, and there needs to be an exchange. And some girls are totally fine with that.
Okay.
Also, that's like a whole other conversation.
So here's a question. Is that happening in the church?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is happening in the church.
Yeah.
That is, from
it might be strung out maybe the second or the third date, a lot of guys. One guy that I can remember, one guy had said to one of our students that they had talked about it, and he said, yeah, by the third date, this is what I expect.
Yeah.
And they're in the church.
Yes.
Yes.
That is not okay.
It's not okay.
That's not okay.
So what's happening is cultural norms are bleeding into the church community.
Cultural norms and beliefs are not changing. It's like when you start going to church and so to kind of...
So how about if that's happened to you, drop the word purity in the chat down below.
Yeah, because we're talking about being a Christian and trying to be single in this world and walking that purity walk while you're still trying to, date someone, get to know someone, but still trying to keep purity, right? Is what we're talking about. And when do you have a conversation about that? Like that was one of the things that our clients ask us also. They're like, when do you actually have a conversation about that? Do you talk about that on the first date, that like you're trying to, stay pure and you're, because dating. Because I wrote this down so that I wouldn't get off track. So it says, early, set your intentions early. Whether you're the girl or the guy, be clear that you're dating with a purpose. Declare your standard with confidence. Your faith calls you to be pure, right? To have purity.
Yes.
And it's not something to be shy about. You don't owe anyone an explanation, but being upfront early saves confusion later. So it's like I'm looking for a deep connection and I'm saving physical intimacy for later.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
So I know when we first started dating, like I was very clear. We've talked to several of our clients have asked us this. So this has kind of been a topic of when do you've gone out on a date with someone maybe 1, 2, maybe 3 times. Like when do you let them know that, look, I am looking for a relationship and I am wanting to stay in the purity zone and not have, intimacy until I have a commitment. And I, like, within the first date, that you and I actually, and it wasn't even a date. You and I weren't even on a date because we hung out for several weeks before we were even dating. We were just hanging out, but we were spending time together,
getting to know each other. Even though we knew each other, but
we were spending time together. But the very first conversation, we had was, what are you planning on doing? Where do you want to be in a year? Where do you want to be in 5 years? I mean, those were the conversations we were having, and we had the conversation. I'm like, look, I was so crystal clear with you. I am not doing none of that before marriage.
So I think so. I'm thinking is we establish a common denominator, and I think this is what you have to do on a first date. You have to establish common denominators. If this person said in their dating app and dating profile that they are a Christian and they go to church, that is the common denominator. That is where that conversation should be brought up. First date.
I think first date.
That you're dating.
But so many of our clients are like, oh my gosh, I'm so uncomfortable. How do you even have that conversation? Well, it's like what I was saying before, like you have to be confident in who you are and what you stand for and your intentions. And if you are not confident, you can't be shy about that and act like it's weird or act like it's not something to talk about. Like it's a private, if you.
I think what you're saying though is dating isn't about getting somebody's approval.
No.
Like that's the worst. If you go into that mindset, it's more a process of elimination.
We're getting into that. That's the next thing I wanted to talk about. That's a whole thing, right?
Yeah.
So the next thing is, so as a Christian single, you have to redefine what successful dating is, right? Okay. So redefining that. So for you had to redefine that. Like when we started dating, you did not treat me like you treated the other girls.
No.
Right?
No. And you weren't like the other girls. This was a good girl right here. This was a Christian. I knew Kim was a Christian. I knew she was going to church. I knew she was beautiful. She knew all my friends and knew everything. She knew my life story, at least the good and the bad and the ugly. But
how did you redefine that? Like, what was your thinking process?
My thinking
when you were
was
dating
I
me?
was already in the mindset of purity. I had made a decision personally that I just didn't want to play that game anymore. The dating before that was all about, casual relationship that, that really had no specific boundaries or commitments, and now I'm committed to Christ. I have a relationship with the Lord, and I'm convicted to be honorable. And I wanted to be honorable because I knew that in order for me to really find the person that I was looking for, and I had made a list, I had an idea of who I wanted. I knew my core values. I had character I was working on. There were going to be boundaries. And then you came along, and our immediate conversations were about these common grounds. And we didn't get into in depth, our first couple of times hanging out. But by the third time or so, we really got, you were like, hey man, my man, she starts giving me the my man talk, which is pretty good. I always liked that. But Kim was upfront about what she wanted. And so I knew what she wanted. And so I was trying to be honorable, and I wanted to honor her. And I was going to be that way with anybody that I was going to date, because I didn't want to get into some short, quick, relationship that I had to go break something off that I didn't even want. And then when you break it off, it's hard to do. And then you just keep finding yourself back in that trap. So I just didn't want to go down that road anymore. And I was making new choices.
That's good. So I'm reading my notes here. So as a Christian single, you have to redefine what a successful date is, which is what you did. Yes. You weren't trying to hook up with me, on that first date, second date, or even third date. We were hanging out. You weren't taking me to dinner and paying for things. We were just hanging out. And if we went to eat, I paid for my stuff, you paid for your stuff. Yeah. Right? I
remember one time with 2 or 3 dates in, and we got to kissing a little bit, and I got a little handsy with you, and you're like, whoa, man. Slow it down, buddy. Because the problem is you walk
You're trying to act like you did, like you used to, and we aren't.
You're just doing the play you know.
You're just doing the play you know.
You're doing the play that you know. And she shut me down.
You better back it up.
Quick. Because I was trying to be, handsy and charming. And I wasn't being charming. Anyway, okay.
You were being charming, but I wasn't giving into it.
Right.
So, what I was doing though is, it's about qualifying you.
Yes.
I was qualifying you.
And that's
I had a list of what I wanted and what I was unwilling to tolerate and put up with. And so as we started talking and everything, we started aligning. And so what I had put here, it's about qualifying the person to be with you. It's about alignment, emotional chemistry, shared values and beliefs.
So true.
And whether you both want to keep building something to, build a relationship. And
that's what dating should be about.
That's what dating is. So
it's more process of elimination. And it's not this trying to get somebody's approval or meet somebody's expectation.
Right.
Right. Yeah.
And that was so many, I know for women, we want to please a man, and at least I did. And so you are, when we first started hanging out, as you're trying to, smooch on me or whatever, and I wanted to, my natural way of being would wanted to please you and make you happy. But because I'm intentional and I was on purpose for what I wanted, I was able to have that self-control and resist and be like,
Yeah. Because before you want to be wanted.
You want to be wanted.
Yeah.
And when you are doing it this way, you're qualifying the person. It's like, I don't even know. You're not going to smooch me. I don't even know if you line up with what I'm doing yet. And we definitely ain't hooking up. So it's a different way. It's rewriting what dating is about.
Exactly.
It's rewriting that.
Redefining it for yourself, and then being strong enough to carry through. You might want to...
And it's not easy.
Yeah, it's not. You need some way of kind of reminding yourself before you go on this date, what are your dating boundaries?
Yeah.
What is it going to be? Where are you drawing the line? If this guy asks for you, for example, and you told the story about the guy that said, oh, well, what's your expectation? Or you want to go out for drinks afterwards, maybe hang out? Like,
how
what's
are
that?
you seeing this going?
Yeah.
Is what he said.
Are you strong enough of a character in that moment to say what she said? She goes, no, I got work tomorrow.
Yeah.
I need to get home. And he's like, well, you want to split the bill?
Yes. So he knew that he wasn't going to get any action. And so he was like, hey, now I want to split the bill.
What a jerk.
It's like, wow.
Yeah.
So, yes, redefining what a date is.
We should probably thank that guy for at least being honest, because putting that out there on video at least shines a light on some of the guys that would like bite their tongue and pay for that bill and leave and be angry because they didn't get what they want.
Yeah.
And how many guys are that way and they just don't know any better. And they want to be different, but they don't know how to be.
They don't know how to be
So.
different. And so from a Christian perspective though, when a woman is in that situation and how a Christian, the gentleman that we're talking about, that I saw on TikTok, and he's getting upset. He was clearly visibly upset because the night was not going to end up the way that he wanted it to, right? He wanted to hook up. And in the Christian world, the way that it should be, and it's not all the time, just because somebody's Christian doesn't mean anything. Just because a guy or a girl goes to church doesn't mean nothing, right? So, but a Christian man should want to protect the heart of a woman. So if the girl says, in that situation, she's like, what are my plans tonight? I'm going home and going to bed. I got to work tomorrow. A godly man is like, oh, I got you. Let's get you home. Let's get you out of here.
Exactly.
And it was a great evening.
That was like a layup.
It was a layup.
That was a layup. It was a soft pitch.
But he's not a Christian man that is trying to protect the heart of a godly woman. Yeah. And so that's what we're talking about. We're talking about this world over here is way better than that world over there. I lived in that world. I did it without, following the Lord and doing it the biblical ways and the biblical principles. I lived my life like that for so many years. And so doing it on this side now and doing it this way, it's just so much better because a godly man will protect a woman. Yes. And say, I completely understand, will not push her into a situation to hook up. Yeah. Or he's a Christian man, he goes to church and he does that. That is red flags.
Yeah, get away.
That is like,
stay away,
right?
Walk away.
All right. So the next one is addressing the unspoken expectation. If you feel there's an assumption, like the cultural idea that a date equals a physical payoff, don't be afraid to bring it up. Yeah. A line like, I know the norm is, so you may say, I know the norm out there is different, but for me, intimacy follows commitment. Oh, I love and kind of bringing up.
Yeah. If you feel that it's going that way, hey, listen, I don't know where you think this is going, but for me, like you said,
intimacy follows commitment.
Yeah.
And so you just have to let them know where you're at. But that will immediately, if you say something like that.
I don't really know you that well.
It will immediately let you know if there's going to be a second date with this person.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whether it's the guy saying it or the girls. This isn't just guys. I mean, there's some hoochie girls out there, Christian girls.
So how do we word it again though? Like, can we hit that one more time? So you said, hey, I don't know where you think this is going, but for me, intimacy follows commitment.
Yes.
And I don't really know you that well yet.
Yes.
So.
And saying it in a tone that is, loving is like just the same way that I did you. When you started, trying to smooch on me after the third date, I was like, ho. Let's back up here just a little bit. Sure. Just want to let you know.
Intimacy follows commitment. This isn't where I'm at. I'm dating with a purpose.
Yes.
Right?
So it's with a loving heart. It's not you don't ever want to make the person feel like they embarrassed or humiliated because they stepped out.
But by no means. But on the other hand, you shouldn't be afraid.
No, you have to be confident.
Hurting somebody's feelings too, because you're in the qualifying process. You're not you're dating on purpose, and that is qualifying someone. Yes. And intimacy follows commitment, man.
And
that's a great thing to hold on to.
For the men, if a girl is to say, it's almost expected for a girl to say it. You know, if she's a Christian girl, it's like, oh,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna, I'm not doing the hookup thing. But for a man to say it to the girl,
That's even more powerful.
that is so powerful. And guys are afraid.
Yeah.
Guys are afraid to say something like that. Like, you know what? I'm really waiting.
Yeah.
I want, I'm going to wait until I find my girl.
Yeah.
And they're afraid to say it because they're afraid that they're gonna, I don't know. We have clients that are like, I just don't know how to bring that topic up. And what the guy needs to understand is that the woman, again, it's no different if it's a guy or the girl. You will identify that person so much quicker by saying that.
I think you just have to get to, hey, I think we've seen each other quite a bit lately. Like, we spent quite a bit of time together here, and I like you, and I'd really like to talk about like what my expectations are in relationships.
That's a good way to say that.
Before we take this any further.
It's a good way to say that.
And just put it right there, man. If she's into you, she go, oh my gosh, I was afraid to say something. Can we talk? Like she probably just open right up. Or on the other hand, if she really doesn't not into you,
or if she wants to test drive the car before she buys it.
Well, we've heard enough.
We've heard that before.
Need to test drive the car.
I love that because one of our girls said that to us, and I was like, oh my gosh, that's so funny.
What's Omar say? He said, what do you mean you want to test drive the car? He's like a pastor. He says, the car's been test drove by the manufacturer.
Right? It drives.
It drives.
It's good.
So, yeah. So anyway.
It's so good though. But being upfront about that is it's so important because it really shows you where the person's at and if you guys are on the same page. And so if this is something that you align with and you agree with, this is what we did.
Yeah, this is what we did.
Because it really shows you who the person is.
Mm-hmm.
And,
what a great topic.
Whether to have a next date. If this challenged you, we hope that always when we jump on here with you guys that we hope that we challenge you. Put it in the comments if you were challenged, if you relate. Put purity in there, and we love you guys, and thanks for listening.